This is part 2 of that business of God educating me about the black people of this United States of America and, of course, of this world. Well, I'm a slow learner. That time at Phillips University, I officiated in one league and was the player, coach, manager of a team in a church league, umpired in an industrial league. And I guess it never occurred to me at any time. There were no black players in my league that I officiated in, and no black players in the league where I played. It should have bothered me. So I guess I was more of a redneck cracker than I had any idea I was. Well, the army I joined in the 40s was segregated, not a single black around. A lot of crackers in those outfits that I was in. You heard a lot of nasty things said about black people. Even if you're not agreeing and you are listening to that stuff, I think more of it rubs off on you than you know. And they weren't using that term black. They were using that N-word, nigger, nigger, nigger. Oh, we're so politically correct now, but it wasn't politically correct around them days. Well, just finished getting my bachelor's degree in July of 1950. Took 2 weeks of active duty. Left the kids, one with my folks, one with her folks. Hey, we practically had a honeymoon. Went down to El Paso, Fort Bliss, and pulled my duty. Oh man, it was nice, just the two of us in the evenings, and a big old city that we were just tourists in the evenings. It was very, very nice. And boy, on the way home, we went up to the Carlsbad Caverns, went up to Colorado Springs. We played the tourist thing to the best of our ability with just a few bucks. Got home, drove into the yard to get our child, and my dad comes out and says, "What's this about you being in the Army full time?" And I said, "Oh, Dad, I told you this has nothing to do with being in the Army full time. Just a 2-week active duty tour." And he said, "It's not what this piece of paper says." He had opened my mail, and here was an old purple ditto sheet that you had to hold just about right to read. Said the 325th Hospital Training Unit has been called to active duty. You're leaving September the 1st from Enid, Oklahoma at the railroad station. Get with it. All white again. But they sent us out to Letterman Army Hospital to get some training, get us ready to operate a hospital train. Some of the boys took cooking school classes. Some took this, some took another thing. Delbert Schwinn and I were assigned, because we'd been clerk typists when we were in the service before, company clerks. I think he was a company clerk, I wasn't. They assigned us to work in the admissions and disposition office there at Letterman Army Hospital, and guess what? The commanding officer of that particular unit was a warrant officer who evidently thought his duty was to romance the nurses. We'd seen about twice a day, once early in the morning, once just before quitting time on our shifts. Had 2 master sergeants, both veterans of the Bataan Death March. Neither one of them schooled in typing or business or anything. They'd been pensioned off, and I'm not a bit sorry that they were. I think they deserved it. My God, I'm glad they survived, and I'm glad the Army didn't mistreat them. They did do the front desk work when somebody came in and the telephone rang. They took care of that, and they did a lot of other things probably that I really didn't know they did. Well, the office was run by a man that had the rank that I almost had when I turned down that extra stripe to get out and become a civilian. Sergeant Mims. I suppose at the time he might have been 25 or 26. a man that, 4 or 5 years my senior, and oh, was he a well-organized fellow. He ran it, he told us what to do, how to do, and showed us if we made a mistake, and he was professional and decent in every way. You know what? I liked him, and I thought, what is there about Sergeant Mims that bothers me? By golly, I was insightful enough to finally figure it out. That's that educated Negro that's very smart. He should be smart alecky, and he's not. He's extremely nice. To be continued.